Hi, hello everybody. We're going to go through a list of, from my experience, what I found as being the top 5 fruit trees for South Florida or very southern climates in the South here in the United States, but probably apply to many other places around the world. So no, oranges aren't one of them. No, I have ones. So my criteria for the top 5 is, first of all, that they're very easy to grow. Very idiot-proof, where it requires very little care, if any care at all. That's one requirement. Second is that the fruit it's producing is delicious, nutritious, something that people will like and can be used in a variety of ways. Juicing, fruit salads, can be dehydrated, just eaten raw. So those are the main criteria that I'm looking for. And obviously it's got to grow in a subtropical climate in the South that in general does not have hard freezes. Normally, if it has a hard freeze every now and then, a lot of these trees, when they're well established, will survive. There might be some die-off, but they will come back. So those are the criteria that I would have for making this list of the top 5. And I've tried plenty of other ones, and I have other fruit trees, some of which require more care than the ones that I'm listing and don't have as high of a fruit production. All right, so let's get to it. Hey, mango. Mango is a really easy tree to grow. I don't think I've given it a single bit of care since I planted this thing, 7, 8 years ago. It's really good because it does produce fruit in the summer. It produces a very high volume of fruit. I'll try to put in a little snippet of what it looks like in the summer from a previous video. But again, that's what's great about it. It produces a huge amount of fruit. Now, it is over a short time period, probably about a month. You'll get production for about a month, but I haven't had to really do anything to this mango. And again, you got fruit in the summer, which not all fruit trees do in this deep South in Florida. A lot of them don't. So mango. A carambola or starfruit. This is probably the most prolific producer of fruit that I've ever seen. It not only produces a lot of fruit, and it's just on one of its downward phases now. It's been producing for well over a month. I think about 5 to 6 weeks right now, and it's almost March. But it will produce about 3 times a year. So you have about 3 times a year where you'll get about 6 weeks of fruit production. That's what I've seen. Now, that may not happen on a new tree, but on an established tree that's been going for a few years, that's what you'll start to see happen. And you get more fruit than you can usually possibly use. Again, I've done nothing to it since the first year or two, when I might have been giving some fertilizer to get it going. But I don't even know if that's necessary. So, starfruit or carambola, about as easy as it gets for a production and not having to put really any work into it. Okay, loquats. Great thing about these, not only that they require basically no care at all. Once you get them established, you may need to want to put them in a little care, fertilizer, water them when they're young seedlings. But man, after they get going, you don't really need to do anything. And the great thing about it, not only do they produce a lot of fruit, usually about twice a year as I get fruit off of my trees for loquats, but the tree itself is frost tolerant, so you could, it's never had damage from a frost. I believe it'll go well into the 20s, which I don't think I've ever had happen here, but it would. And it also does great in the hot, humid summers of 5 to 6 months here in Florida. So it's just a really tough tree that's a consistent producer that requires basically no care at all. Can't really beat loquat. And the fruit tastes good, just like all the things that I'm showing you. Here's another loquat tree right nearby that's also got fruit coming in. It's slightly different color, so it must be a slightly different variety than the one I just showed you, but it produces very well too. Again, good tasting fruit, slightly different than the other tree, and you'll see that with loquats. But again, you just can't beat how easy it is to take care of and how much fruit that it produces. Okay, guava. Guava is the only tree I have that produces consistently all year round. Guava produces, I have fruit literally every month of the year on this tree. Now, it's not producing a huge amount, but there's always at least some guava fruits on the tree pretty much all year. This is after it became very well established. So it's not something you're going to have a huge harvest of, which is actually a good thing. It's something you can use to get a trickle of fruit constantly that you can use in recipes and as snacks. So guava has been really easy to take care of. I've done basically nothing to this after planting it. Again, that's one of the reasons why it's such a great fruit tree for South Florida and extreme southern United States. Okay, banana trees. Once you get them established and going, these are extremely hardy. Yes, having a lot of fertilizer or water on them will really increase the fruit production, but if you don't do anything once they're established, in my experience, you're still going to get a regular fruit production as long as you just let things kind of die and let natural mulch and stuff get around it. Every now and then I'll throw some dead stuff around it, but you know, I don't water it anymore. The root system goes pretty deep and it seems to take care of itself once it gets going. While young, you may want to water it a lot to get it going, but man, once this gets going, it goes crazy. I almost always have one bunch of bananas going. That doesn't mean you're always being able to harvest all year round, because you're not. I might get 3 or 4 harvests a year where you'll have about a week to 10 days of fresh bananas, which of course you can dry out, you can dehydrate and use on a lot of different things or freeze. But thing about banana trees is you can actually cut the stalks. If you want to look on the internet for recipes, you can cut the stalks out and eat the inside of the stalks also. Just research that. I've never done it, but I've had people comment on my channel that they do it in North Florida, where they grow bananas, but it gets too cold and the bananas die down to the root and hard freezes, but they grow them just for the stalks, to eat the inside of the stalks of the bananas. So it's another way it can be used as a food source. Now, if you would like more information on any of the fruit trees that I'm discussing in this video, I'll put some links in the description box below to some of the videos I've made on these different fruit trees. So just click on a link if you want to learn more. Okay, well, I hope you found the video interesting, informative. If you have any questions, feel free to leave a comment. If you'd like to support the channel, there's some Amazon links in the description box below. So we'll see you later.